Please remember to like, subscribe and comment, as we love to hear back from our viewers. Also, if you enjoy our videos, please consider becoming a patron of our show through Patreon and or GoFundMe. Links are listed below the video in the description. From the deepest, darkest recesses of Dangerous Nerds headquarters, Keith Moncrief and Gerry Kissell.
Dark Horse announces
an Orville miniseries comic. So if you love the Orville and you love comics, you know how good Dark Horse is. It's going to be a limited series, miniseries. Check it out. Just support comics. Support your local comic shop and check this one out. So when it's available, we'll let you know.
And it'll be exciting to see it, even though I do have to say, it's kind of hard to do comedy in comics. It really is. Because sarcasm and the kind of humor that they use in the Orville is really kind of a sight and sound thing.
Yeah.
But, you know what? I don't care. I bet it'll still be good no matter what. And the show's far more serious than it let on. So
yeah.
The comic will probably be more serious as well. They're not going to do silly shit on it. So the next news is DC Universe has finally added one of my favorite live action shows from my childhood, Shazam. I immediately went and bought an account again with DC Universe, because that is like one of my favorite shows as a kid, and I was complaining, and it's why I canceled my subscription.
Yeah.
Because after I watched the Titans, I'm like, okay, I'm done. You don't have anything else right now that I want to watch. Doom Patrol, yes, I might want to watch that, but not enough to really jump into it.
Well, new episodes of Young Justice, which is still, in my opinion, the best animated series from any DC comic they've ever done. That is just a phenomenal series. Yes, even better than Justice League. Because I like the way that they have all of the Justice League characters, and the way that they're portrayed on Young Justice is way better than an alarm going off, informing us that something, well, anyway. Young Justice, phenomenal. And it is definitely worth your time to watch that series and enjoy it. And for our next story, we will be talking...
But anyway, moving on to the next one, because that's some good news.
We're headed back around to our...
Dark Horse announces
an Orville miniseries comic. So if you love the Orville and you love comics, you know how good Dark Horse is. It's going to be a limited series, miniseries. Check it out. Just support comics. Support your local comic shop and check this one out. So when it's available, we'll let you know.
And it'll be exciting to see it, even though I do have to say, it's kind of hard to do comedy in comics. It really is. Because sarcasm and the kind of humor that they use in the Orville is really kind of a sight and sound thing.
Yeah.
But, you know what? I don't care. I bet it'll still be good no matter what. And the show's far more serious than it let on. So
yeah.
The comic will probably be more serious as well. They're not going to do silly shit on it. So the next news is DC Universe has finally added one of my favorite live action shows from my childhood, Shazam. I immediately went and bought an account again with DC Universe, because that is like one of my favorite shows as a kid, and I was complaining, and it's why I canceled my subscription.
Yeah.
Because after I watched the Titans, I'm like, okay, I'm done. You don't have anything else right now that I want to watch. Doom Patrol, yes, I might want to watch that, but not enough to really jump into it.
Well, new episodes of Young Justice, which is still, in my opinion, the best animated series from any DC comic they've ever done. That is just a phenomenal series. Yes, even better than Justice League. Because I like the way that they have all of the Justice League characters, and the way that they're portrayed on Young Justice is way better than an alarm going off, informing us that something, well, anyway. Young Justice, phenomenal. And it is definitely worth your time to watch that series and enjoy it.
Well, while we're talking about DC Universe, I wanted to go back over the fact that Doom Patrol is really good.
Yes, it is.
Now, I'm watching it by other means with a friend.
Yes.
So I haven't been watching it on the DC Universe app. I will now because I bought the account today because it's Sam. And but basically, Doom Patrol is much better than I expected. Mm-hmm. Yes, there's a lot of F-bombs in it, but you know what? I'm getting it that DC Universe is not for kids.
Yeah.
The DC Universe shows that they're putting on are for adults, whether they're young adults or not. That can be determined. But
and also you got to understand, while that is the case, DC is still interested in younger fans, in kids.
And they do have this stuff on there for kids.
Yes, they just dropped brand new episodes of DC Superhero Girls for the Cartoon Network and the Cartoon Network app. So they're still out there getting it done. If you're someone that is concerned that there's not enough out there for your kids, especially if you're a big DC fan, that stuff is still available. But the DC All Access app seems to be headed a particular direction. That's that earlier story that we had about Adrienne Barbeau and the Swamp Thing television series, which is really what I think a lot of people are waiting and saving their pennies for, to actually invest into the DC All Access app once Swamp Thing is launched. It sounds like it's going to be one heck of a show.
Yeah, I have to agree. And the Doom Patrol is kind of blowing me away.
Yeah.
And how that they're doing things. And I love the actors that they picked to play the characters. Brendan Fraser, it's really good to hear him on something again. I'm enjoying him as Robot Man.
Yeah.
It's one of the best characters on the show. And it's kind of cool seeing Timothy Dalton doing something episodic rather than always being a film actor.
Well, I mean, this is his big return to television because he was actually a part of the cast of the Showtime series coming off of, I just had a brain freeze on his old TV show, which really wasn't that old. But he's coming off of doing 2 seasons of
He was on. We're talking about Tim, right? Dalton.
Yeah, Timothy Dalton.
He was on Doctor Who for one season.
After that, it was the biggest show.
Oh, Penny Dreadful.
Yeah, Penny Dreadful. That's it.
And he was really good in that.
Yes, everybody was really good in that.
I'm kind of hoping, even though it's a decade or two later, he's.
Ooh, this is way later because Penny Dreadful was still in the 1800s and
1880s.
1880s. So, and we're talking 1930s for this new series.
So it's like 40 years later.
Yeah.
Well, it sucks because I liked him in that. He was one of my favorite parts of the show. But anyway, Timothy Dalton's really good in Doom Patrol. He's not in every episode.
Yeah.
But his character is always mentioned.
Yeah.
In the show.
Well,
because we don't know what's happened to him. We don't know what's happened to him. He's missing.
Yeah.
And they have to find him.
Yeah.
So.
Again, one of the things that slowed me up about this Doom Patrol is that it's based on a version of Doom Patrol. Certain characters that have been added that I'm not as familiar with. And so they've taken an angle that's a little bit different than what I was thinking that they were going to start out with. But, I don't hate it or anything. I've yet to really see an episode to really just go, meh. So I'm excited. I'm excited for you and what you've described. So give it a shot if you can. But that's the important difference.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. Yeah, I think one of my friends complained about the fact that, I don't like the way they made Robot Man look. And I'm like, that's not a reason to hate a show.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But
I don't like the way this actor looks or how his character was designed. It's like, yeah, but is it a good show? Is it a good story? That's all I care about.
That's all it should be about. And again, it's very important because everything's going to get crowded once Disney Plus launches. And just as a side note, Disney Plus did announce that they are basically giving access to even all of their Vault animation.
Oh, I saw that today, yeah.
So, again, this really...
They're shutting down the Vault.
Yeah. So this really puts pressure on all of the other services that will be competing against that once it launches. So Netflix, they're not feeling any pressure. But if you're DC All Access, and especially CBS All Access, if all you got is Discovery, you are about to have your head handed to you. And this is the reason why CBS and Paramount reuniting is not just good for Star Trek, it's really good for
CBS All Access.
Because you'll have access to a lot of the Paramount material and be able to create original programming that more people will want to see outside of just having Star Trek Discovery, which isn't really functioning as well as it should, and it's not bringing enough people to buy and pay for. Really, that's the important thing, paying for CBS All Access. Right now, CBS All Access is pretty much in last place out of all the services. And unless that number improves, it doesn't matter if you're a fan of Discovery or not. Chances are that show is probably going to get canceled unless they can figure out a way of bringing down the cost per episode or getting more Star Trek fans to really give this show a shot. Well, if you've already pissed off all the basic Star Trek fans with the show anyway, something's got to give. So one way or another,
they get, the way you get them back is the old grassroots method, which is you start going to the conventions and talking up the changes we're doing in the show. We want the fans.
I don't think that'll do it. I don't think that'll do it.
You don't think getting them involved in talking with them?
The only way you're going to be able to change a lot of fans, including me, is to make major changes behind the scenes with your writing staff
and
a lot of the writing staff. Because you have people in there
terrible writers
that are just not getting it done. If you reunite with Paramount, you're going to have access to a lot of writers that know how to do this.
And bring back Ronald Moore.
So, and again, you don't have to really fire any of the actors, but you're going to have to make some major changes. And once you bring in people that know how to write Star Trek, you're automatically going to see a difference not only in the writing. They're never going to really continue all of this, and I'm sure Michael Burnham as a character, along with a lot of other characters you guys
they don't even have David Gerald.
I know.
It's like
if
he's still alive and writing.
If you don't know the name David Gerald, then
you're not a Star Trek fan.
Trust me, there will be some changes, and they will be for the better. You'll have better written characters, better plots, better everything, and I'm telling you right now, they're going to change the time period for this show. They're just going to put it square where it should have been in the first place, which is in the aftermath of Nemesis, which is where the show belongs. None of these characters really, and that ship, belong in the time period where it's set right now. This is not a ship and crew that belongs in the 10 years before the original series starts. This all looks like it takes place after Nemesis, both in terms of technology and look. And that's always been a problem, and it's going to continue to be a problem, but I don't think it's going to be a problem once you change the writers and everything else behind the scenes. Look, these actors are still going to have their jobs. So really, if you're a fan of Discovery, just look at it as something new. We're going to reinvent the entire show, but still give you all the actors that you like. That's the future of Discovery. So enjoy it. Have fun with it. And maybe by doing all of that, it might even make these episodes for this version of the show kind of all right. Not spectacular, but
it's palatable.
Yes, that's
it's sort of like, TV dinner meatloaf. So, and while we're talking about Discovery, the next bit of news is, of course, a little bit came up to the surface on the lawsuit with Discovery.
Yeah.
Which is something that he and I were talking about before the show. Is what is the kid's name? Anas Adine.
Yeah.
That developed the tardigrade game.
Yeah.
And basically, what's come out is that we've now learned that the CBS staff who worked on the series in developing this current plot line that moved away from...
well, the original plot line that was developed after Brian Fuller had been let go.
Let go.
And they worked out all of how they were putting this series together, even making changes to a lot of the really cool things that Brian Fuller had in his original developed script for Discovery. And it is within that a lot of their legal problems will be set. So.
Exactly, because some of the characters are obviously inspired right from the game itself.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Including Tilly. And so the hubbub's been that if this lawsuit proceeds, and there wouldn't be a lawsuit if CBS had just taken his call and paid him some money.
There wouldn't be a lawsuit if they had just used Brian Fuller's script.
There you go. The two missteps. And basically what we see now is that they've refused to release their Steam account information.
And their online...
Google searches.
Google searches?
Their Google searches.
That's a big mistake.
Because it's damning.
Yeah.
They know that they're
caught.
busted.
Yeah, they are busted. So busted.
So busted because the people who are involved in developing these new ideas that ended up in the series, the tardigrades and these characters, are completely involved with playing the games on Steam.
As of right now, the rumor is that the way the tardigrade was used in Brian Fuller's original script is nothing like the way the character or the creature was used when Discovery started. It was completely different. In fact, the tardigrade was actually going to be a crewman. And it was going to be more like Chewbacca to the engineer's Han Solo.
Oh yeah, that was such a cool concept.
And it's a great concept. And it would not have gotten them sued had they done it like that.
But you know what happened was a late night meeting took place. And it's like, well, where do we go with it? And this guy said, hey man, I was playing this game over on Steam. And it's got tardigrades in it just like our character. And I thought that could be an interesting twist. I mean, nobody knows this game. Nobody's heard of it. It's small. Nobody's ever heard of it. It's Steam.
Well,
a lot of people play Steam.
Anas
on
Adine,
Steam.
who developed the game, had been basically posting all of his developments for the games over the past few years and letting people on Steam know what he was doing. So, really, they're not only just dumb, they're just completely... I mean, these are just...
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, anyway, yes, trust me, one way or another, we may find ourselves back to Brian Fuller's original idea for this series. Which, again, I know there are a lot of you that are Discovery fans, but seriously, if you really are Star Trek fans, the name Brian Fuller should fill you with excitement. And to get to his version of what Discovery was, isn't really going to hurt what you say you love about Discovery. It'll make you love it more. And it'll be 10 times better than anything, even the best episode you've seen up to this point.
Exactly, and I'm looking forward to that. With that, we're going to take a time out.